Mexico City, and there are lots of upgrades, a lot of new things to watch out for. Now, McLaren has submitted their own evidence regards the Austin race last week to the FIA and to the F1 because they believe the 5-second penalty can be reverted and they have the right to do so. But in F1, if the evidence you are bringing is not tenable or according to what they have seen or they've seen it before, or what they have, it is the same thing, then it won't work. The FIA or the stewards might check out the evidence and say it's not reliable. On the FIA stewards issue, I think, like I said in one of the videos, they need to be paid well because if this continues, it will keep bringing this kind of a rubbish. And certainly from what I've read about and I've learned, I think some few drivers are brought back as the stewards while FIA still brings their own people to be the final judge of the situation. And if the people they are bringing to be the final judges of this issue or whatever happens on the racetrack are not capable enough, then we keep having such issues and this keep damaging races and making it feel as if these guys don't know what they are doing. That's how it will feel, and a lot of people will still feel it because this issue from last week has come into Mexico and it has been discussed over and over again, and drivers have been asked about their opinion and a lot of things have been said about it. I think it is going to drag on, especially with McLaren submitting their own evidence and saying no, they disagree with what FIA has ruled as regards the situation. So I think a lot needs to be done by FIA as regards 2025 and the upcoming rules so that drivers and stewards can be on the same page, because if one driver knows or two drivers knows the rules better than others, or it is being used in a different way from what every other person feels, then I think a lot of use will still be done. Going into the race, a lot of upgrades came in. Aston Martin, McLaren, the upgrade the Ferrari brought are only the cooling louvers, a more wider cooling louvers because of the thin hair. The high altitude in Mexico, the hair is thinner, so they need the car to cool well, not the drivers this time. The Red Bull too brought upgrade. The spectacle was the Ferrari upgrade as regards them winning the last race and bringing cooling louvers to cool the car. But Mercedes did not really bring any upgrade. The Mercedes teams are looking at Lewis Hamilton running on the new upgrade while George Russell running the old upgrade, which I think is two ways. They said they could not complete the new upgrade as in to bring it to the racetrack, but they might bring it to Brazil race. But I think what they are trying to do is to checkmate the new upgrade to see how it's working as regards the old upgrade. Now, the FP1, they are going to have a 1 hour in which you have some F2 drivers driving, while in the FP2, you are going to have a 1 hour 30 minutes in which you are also going to have tire testing. The drivers will be able to check these upgrades very well. With Mercedes coming up with this idea, I think they should have used the new upgrade on George Russell's car while the old upgrade on Lewis Hamilton's car. But I think from what they said, the upgrade is not ready. George Russell damaged the old upgrade on his car, so the upgrade is not ready. So Lewis Hamilton will be using the new upgrade while George Russell will be using the old upgrade, which I think they are going to now confirm if this upgrade is really working or not. If this upgrade is not working, they might have to revert. Now with McLaren, they believe the upgrade they brought to the last race, especially to the floor, didn't work well, so they brought a revised floor which they believe will work well to the track. And Aston Martin bringing upgrades, they brought some aero rakes to the car to test their upgrade. So in FP1, there was a fatal accident, or should I say a dangerous accident, that might put out Alex Albon in FP2 when he collided with Oliver Biermann, which might be as a result of Oliver Biermann staying on the track or close to the road, so he got confused, he crashed the car and there was a red flag. That hampered the session for Oliver Biermann and also for Alex Albon. I think the gearbox will be changed, a lot of parts will be changed on the suspension of the Williams, but certainly the gearbox looks like it's going to be changed. I hope he's able to come out towards the end of FP2, but I'm not sure he'll be able to come out towards the end of FP2. But the Red Bull didn't really do bad in FP1, but the Mercedes, the old upgrades on the Mercedes looks fast on George Russell. In FP2 we would know, but meanwhile the Ferraris are also looking fast, but these are not their true pace. These guys are just trying to sandbag, look at what they can do, but certainly this is not their true pace. In FP2 we will see their true pace and their true colors. But from what I'm looking at, also McLaren are not backing down. They are still playing the mind games, but it still looks over for Lando Norris in the Drivers' Championship, except they can play a game in which we know can be played in F1. They sacrifice Piastri to knock out Max Verstappen in 2 races. Max Verstappen loses points, Lando Norris can gain points. I'm not saying they should do that, but that has happened. We've seen that with Red Bull, we've seen that with Mercedes in races. These are teams do. They might say, oh, they didn't do it on purpose, but in the long run, it knocks off a competitor while it gives advantage to another competitor. It's racing. This is motorsport. You understand? It happens in football. Sacrifice a player to knock out one of the best players in the other team, and that is it. A lot of things can happen. In FP2, we'll see the true paces of this car, even in tire testing, and we'll see how they will do as regards tomorrow's qualifying and Sunday's race. We'll catch up then in FP2. Great times in FP2, but unfortunately, the results from FP1, we had Robert Schwarzman given the 5-place grid penalty in FP1. I'm thinking about it. When will he have that penalty? He was given that penalty because he was overtaken under the yellow flags. But I'm still thinking, where and when will he have the penalty? He's not on the grid, so how will he have the penalty? Well, that's left for them. Unfortunately, Alex Albon could not come out. The accident affected not just the gear or the transmission of the car, but also the engine of the Formula 1 car. Also, Max Verstappen, his engine issues in FP1 persisted, and the engine had to be stripped after his 4 laps in FP. Check what his complaints were. Also, red flag in FP2. George Russell is not coming out. He didn't come out. He'll be coming out in FP3. And I think that was due to the tire and also the car. Now, Mercedes have been complaining about cars. From what I saw, he rode the curbs too much and the car bounced off the curbs. Some people are saying, oh, it's the tire or no. He rode the curbs too much and the car bounced off the curb. But hope this will not be a refix of what happened last week in Austin when George Russell had his own moment during sprint qualifying. That should be FP2, and Lewis Hamilton, Mercedes, blah blah blah. But the impact was too much that it took George Russell to the medical center because he was having backache, because the G-force was too much. And I hope he's better and I hope he's well. It was his own mistake, not the car's mistake. Carlos Sainz stopped the timesheet in FP2, but the FP2 today is not relatively the time that we look at because it's testing 2 tires for next year, and possibly they might be adding another tire to next year, maybe for Monaco and for some other tracks. The drivers don't really lose tires on of a C6 tire, in which might degrade better than the current C5. It was a great testing. They were able to put it all in board, but I think Pirelli still has a lot to do on the tires because it's either they're having overheating issues or the tires give way easily, or the tires cannot be pushed because the drivers have been complaining that they can't push the tires too much, especially in qualifying and sometimes in races. You can remember last year in COTA, they had to do some mandatory stops to make sure the drivers can push the tires, and they had to do 2 mandatory stops in COTA last year. I think they know they have a lot to do if they still have to stay in F1, in which they are still staying in F1. That's Pirelli. Pirelli is doing a good job, but they still have a lot of jobs to do for them to get tires into, because the drivers, especially this season, are not enjoying the tires. And also, but Tsunoda came in and gave his own time. He ended in P7, but Tsunoda will be testing for RB by the end of the season, and Tsunoda is doing a good job and is showing that he really wants to be in the RB20, in the RB21 next year, not in the VCAB. But I think it's under maybe, because I'm 85% sure that Red Bull will not grant him a seat in 2024. They will rather give him a seat in VCAB. They will promote the Lawson. But from what we are seeing, they are trying to put him in test, and let's see if that works. If the test works for him and they're able to grant him, but I'm sure they're not going to grant him because it's not what they really need in Red Bull. It's just under engine manufacturing agreement in which under are trying to push them to put him into. He's also trying, so let's see what he does in the testing in Abu Dhabi at the end of the year. The Haas are showing strong pace also in this test. They really show that they have a strong pace and they want to continue from where they are. They can get points this weekend. It's 5 consecutive races with points for Haas. As in the last race, they are above the Alpine. They might go above and beyond the Alpine if they have some good points or decent points in this race in Mexico. They are 6th on board now, and you can see a lot of opportunities are coming in for them. And also, Williams just got an investment of £100 million, which might work for them because it's a small team, and they getting this investment will usually catapult them in 2025 and possibly 2026 if they can get the right CFD and maximize what they have and the team. So it's going to be an interesting FP3 tomorrow, when we will get the relative time of pace and also relative time of qualifying to know who will qualify on pole. But the Ferrari looks very fast this weekend. The McLaren are looking fast. Those are the 2 teams that are really looking fast at the top of the table. The RB also looks fast. Let's see what they can do. But the Red Bull and the Mercedes are not really looking like teams that can contend or put it towards the Ferrari and the McLaren. But up until tomorrow, I'll be able to tell you more about that. I love you guys. Please like, share, subscribe. Bye. Cheers.